Good evening, here are tonight's top stories. 3 individuals found dead in a minibus along Mabora Trail, suspected to have succumbed to carbon monoxide poisoning according to a pathologist. A suspect is arrested in the alleged murder of a woman from Best Village. The government initiates distribution of Because We Care cash grants to students. Pharmacies warned of potential shutdowns for selling antibiotics over the counter. In other news, a teenager is hospitalized after a violent altercation at a South Rivette Supermarket. Additionally, a taxi driver and a laborer are sentenced for narcotics trafficking in Burbus. Dawn Hastings-Williams resigns as PNCR General Secretary. Stay tuned for the details of these stories. Please remember to like, share and subscribe to our channel for more news.
3 found dead in minibus along Mabora Trail, pathologist suspects carbon monoxide poisoning. Government pathologist Dr. Nihal Singh conducted post-mortem examinations today on the bodies of 3 individuals discovered dead in a minibus along the Mabora Trail on Sunday. Dr. Singh has preliminarily opined that the cause of death was carbon monoxide poisoning. However, the Guyana Police Force, GPF, stated that this conclusion requires confirmation. Blood samples and stomach contents from the deceased have been dispatched for further testing to verify the pathologist's findings. The deceased have been identified as Leon Achi, a 42-year-old bus driver of Lot 245, 6th Street, Martyrsville, Mon Repos, East Coast Demerara; Vincent Fawcett, a 44-year-old operator of Lot 40 Plantation Ross, West Coast Burbus; and Riva Baville, a 24-year-old unemployed female from South Amelia's Ward, Linden. The discovery was made at approximately 9:40 HRS on Sunday at 28 miles, Mabora Trail. Preliminary investigations suggest that the minibus, bearing registration number BAC 7350, was stuck in a deep pothole with its rear submerged. The vehicle's engine was running, and all windows were locked when the bodies were found. Police suspect the victims may have spent the night in the bus. Blood samples, as well as stomach contents, were taken from each of the bodies for analysis, the GPF said in a statement. At the conclusion of the PMEs, Dr. Singh opined that the cause of death was carbon monoxide poisoning, awaiting confirmation. The bodies have since been handed over to the relatives for burial or cremation. Teen hospitalized after violent altercation at South Rivette Supermarket. A 17-year-old male, identified as Chris Chand from Diamond Housing Scheme, East Bank Demerara, EBD, is currently hospitalized after sustaining multiple chop and stab wounds during an altercation at a Chinese supermarket in South Rivette, Georgetown. The incident took place on Saturday afternoon around 16:30 when Chand, visiting family in South Rivette, stopped at the supermarket to purchase a drink. According to reports from the victim's father, Chand accidentally bumped into the suspect twice while inside the store. Following the second collision, the suspect allegedly confronted Chand at the counter, remarking, "Is just so," to which Chand responded, "Is wham to you." In response to Chand's retort, the suspect swiftly drew a machete and proceeded to attack him with chops to the head and a stab wound to his left lung. After the assault, the suspect fled the scene. Chand was promptly rushed to the Georgetown Public Hospital, where he received immediate medical attention for his severe injuries. His family has issued a plea for assistance from the public in identifying the suspect, urging anyone with information to contact the nearest police station. The motive behind the attack remains under investigation as the authorities work to apprehend the perpetrator responsible for this violent act at the South Rivette Supermarket. Dawn Hastings-Williams resigns as PNCR General Secretary. Dawn Hastings-Williams, General Secretary and Member of Parliament for the People's National Congress Reform, PNCR, tendered her resignation today. In a surprising move, Hastings-Williams cited various concerns in her resignation letter addressed to the party leader and Central Executive Committee. Among her concerns, Hastings-Williams expressed unease regarding the management of the party, issues related to financial probity, and readiness for the upcoming biennial delegates' Congress scheduled for the weekend. She emphasized transparency and accountability issues surrounding the Congress, mentioning non-compliance with party rules as a significant issue. Additionally, Hastings Williams highlighted feeling hindered in her role as General Secretary and described working in what she characterized as an abusive environment. Further details regarding her resignation and the implications for the PNCR are expected to be released in due course. This resignation comes as a notable development within the PNCR, impacting its leadership and internal dynamics ahead of key party events and amidst broader political contexts in Guyana. Laborer sentenced for marijuana trafficking in East Bank Burbis. Trevith Wince, a 24-year-old laborer residing in Heathburn Village, East Bank Burbis, faced legal consequences after his arrest on June 23, 2024. He was charged with possession of 350 grams of marijuana with intent to traffic. Wince admitted guilt during his appearance before Magistrate Michelle Mathias at the New Amsterdam Magistrates Court. In response to his plea, Magistrate Michelle Mathias handed down a sentence of 3 years imprisonment for the offense of marijuana trafficking. This sentencing reflects the seriousness with which drug trafficking is viewed under the law, aiming to deter such activities and uphold community safety. Wince's arrest and subsequent conviction highlight ongoing efforts by law enforcement to combat illegal drug trade in East Bank Burbis and underscores the repercussions individuals face when engaging in illicit drug activities. Authorities continue to enforce laws rigorously to maintain public order and safeguard the well-being of the community. Taxi driver is sentenced for narcotics trafficking in Burbis. Hardat Chan, a 27-year-old taxi driver hailing from Heathburn Village, East Bank Burbis, found himself in legal trouble after being arrested on Sunday for possession of 235 grams of narcotics with intent to traffic. Following his arrest, Chan was promptly charged and appeared before Magistrate Joanna Hardy at the New Amsterdam Magistrates Court today. During the court proceedings, Chan pleaded guilty to the charges brought against him. As a result, Magistrate Joanna Hardy sentenced him to 3 years in prison for the narcotics offense. The arrest and subsequent conviction underscore ongoing efforts by law enforcement to combat drug trafficking in the region. Chan's case serves as a reminder of the serious consequences individuals face when involved in illegal drug activities. Authorities continue their vigilant efforts to enforce laws and uphold justice in East Bank Burbis and beyond, aiming to deter such criminal activities for the safety and well-being of the community. Suspect arrested in alleged murder of Best Village woman. Police are investigating the alleged murder of Anurada Khatun, also known as Amama, a 34-year-old fruits vendor of Best Village. The incident occurred around 23:30 HRS on Saturday night at her Lot 1 Best Village home. The suspect, Neldon Neblet, had allegedly fled the crime scene but was later apprehended by detectives. He remains in custody and is slated to be charged. According to initial investigations, the couple had been in a common-law relationship for the past 5 years and lived together in a one-story concrete structure. The events leading up to the tragedy began on the night of June 22, 2024, when Neblet returned home intoxicated. Khatun reportedly admonished him to reduce his alcohol consumption, which led to a heated argument. During the altercation, Neblet allegedly armed himself with a knife and stabbed Khatun in the throat. Khatun's 12-year-old son, the suspect's stepson, was awakened by his mother's screams and raised an alarm. Family members quickly transported Khatun to the West Demerara Regional Hospital, where she was pronounced dead on arrival. Upon investigating the scene, police discovered a kitchen knife on the floor. A stab wound was evident on Khatun's throat. Her body has been moved to Ezekiel Funeral Home, where it awaits a post-mortem examination. The police are continuing their investigation into the incident. Pharmacies can be shut down for selling antibiotics over the counter. Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony addressed concerns over the misuse of antibiotics, emphasizing the potential impact on antimicrobial resistance, AMR, during the Guyana Pharmacists Association Annual Pharmacists Convention on Sunday. He highlighted that excessive antibiotic use could compromise the body's ability to combat diseases effectively, leading local authorities to consider stringent measures, potentially including the closure of pharmacies selling antibiotics without prescriptions. AMR, as defined by the World Health Organization, WHO, occurs when microbes develop resistance to medicines due to genetic changes accelerated by human activities such as the misuse and overuse of antimicrobials. Dr. Anthony stressed that addressing the indiscriminate use of antibiotics in Guyana is crucial to combating AMR effectively. We might have to close you down and use the full force of the law to do so, Dr. Anthony warned pharmacists, reiterating that selling antibiotics without prescriptions is illegal. He cited instances of multiple drug-resistant tuberculosis and mutations in malaria parasites resistant to traditional treatments in Guyana, attributing these concerns partly to the misuse of antibiotics. Dr. Anthony highlighted ongoing efforts to monitor compliance with regulations through undercover operations and acknowledged that while violations have been observed, enforcement has been lacking. He expressed optimism that the forthcoming medical regulations bill, dedicated to controlling antibiotic distribution, will bolster enforcement measures and ensure pharmacies adhere strictly to prescription guidelines. In conclusion, Dr. Anthony emphasized the importance of regulatory compliance to mitigate AMR risks and underscored the role of pharmacists in upholding public health standards by selling antibiotics only with valid prescriptions. Government begins distribution of Because We Care cash grant to students. The government's annual Because We Care cash grant distribution commenced on Monday, benefiting both public and private school children across several regions. This year, each child receives $40,000, supplemented by a $5,000 uniform voucher, totaling over $9 billion in support for parents and students nationwide. At Bel Air Primary School in Georgetown, parents expressed profound gratitude for the government's ongoing support. Vicky Nagasar, a father of two, highlighted the grant's impact. The cash grant is a real help to me and my kids. It really helps us a lot. I am happy to have it, and I want to thank the government for doing this. Marvin Bardon, another parent, noted how the grant will assist in purchasing school essentials, including a laptop for his child preparing for CSEC exams. With 4 kids, it is very helpful to all parents. Karen Ned and Shri Persad echoed similar sentiments, stressing that the grant relieves financial pressure and allows families to allocate funds to other necessities. Garrett Norville affirmed, "I will buy my son's necessities for school. And the rest, I will save for him in case he has any assignments." Single mother Nicola Wong described the initiative as a kind gesture and emphasized its positive impact on enhancing the education sector. "It definitely will help in getting school items for your children. I must say that I am proud of the government for doing this." Minister of Tourism, Industry, and Commerce, Wanij Walrond, present during the distribution, lauded the program for its inclusivity and support for every Guyanese child attending school. "Once you are attending school and you are Guyanese, you are eligible for the cash grant, and I think it's been a tremendous support and relief to the parents." The Because We Care cash grant initiative underscores the government's commitment to improving livelihoods and ensuring equitable access to education for all children in Guyana.